What's up guys, welcome back to our channel. I hope everyone's had a good new year. Today I want to talk a little bit about my year of being sober. About a year ago I posted a video, you can watch it, I'll post a link to it here. But about a year ago I posted a video about stopping drinking for an entire year. That year's finished, I've completed the challenge, I've gone a year sober. So I thought today I'd talk a little bit about what I've learned from the challenge. I've written some reflections down, so I just wanted to speak a little bit about sort of what I've learned. What are the great outcomes, what are the not so great outcomes, and yeah, so I hope you enjoy. The best outcome for me was the amount of money that you save doing this challenge. If you live in, to be fair, anywhere is expensive now, but especially down in London, even just going out for a few drinks, a bit of food, you know, you can easily get into sort of 50 quid, 100 quid. So let's say you go out 2 times a week in London, you spend 50 quid a time, that's £100 a week. That is all of a sudden over £5,000 a year on drink. Now, I didn't personally drink that much, or I didn't spend that much on drink. The point is, it can soon add up. Alcohol is expensive and all of the costs add up. So when you start drinking consistently, there's a lot of cost involved. So that was point number one. Another outcome that was great was just how much it overall improves your mental state. I can be a little bit dramatic sometimes, but I really do struggle with being hungover. A year of not feeling hungover to me was music to my ears. I really enjoyed feeling clear-headed for a whole year and not feeling like even once. I'm going to put this picture in of a guy on a bike because I think it's quite a good visualization of how drinking can actually impact your mental state. You start off the week, you know, Monday, Tuesday, you start off the week working hard, and then you get to the weekend and you sort of throw away all of that gain that you've made. You're in this kind of endless mental cycle, and each Monday it feels like you've got a mountain to climb. I really enjoyed getting to Monday morning and feeling fresh and feeling clear-headed and feeling ready to attack the week. If you feel hungover once a week, that's obviously 52 days feeling hungover in a year. I know that's great maths. So 52 days out of the 365 days, that's 14% of your days feeling terrible. So think what you could do with the time on the 14% of those days. Yeah, I just really enjoyed being clear-headed and the mental clarity really that being sober brought. Yeah, I would definitely do it again for this aspect. So reflection number 3. So this follows on from the previous point nicely, and that is the amount of extra time it creates by not being hungover. Obviously, without feeling terrible on Saturday and Sunday, you notice how much extra time you actually have sober when you don't feel hungover. And you can obviously spend that time exactly as you wish. You can use that time to be productive, or you can use that time for other purposes, like relaxing or seeing family or seeing friends and not drinking. I can guarantee you one thing though, that it will give you more time back, definitely. Let's be honest, you're more likely to be productive when you're not hungover. Just basic tasks like just admin tasks and just tasks that you sometimes put off at the weekends because you know you've got to do them, but you kind of put them off because you go out drinking and feel hungover, so you don't bother doing them. And then the week can roll around and it feels like you've got a million things to do, and it feels like you're kind of behind, and you know you need to tidy this and put some washing in, and just basic admin tasks like that, which you can function and just do and just crack out easily when you're sober is great. And that means your weeks feel more productive, I guess, because there's not all that sort of extra baggage that you've got to contend with through the week. So yeah, so definitely it will free up more time. So reflection number 4 is about dating. If you're single, like I am, it definitely makes dating slightly harder to navigate. And what I mean by that is, it's always assumed when you go out on a date that you'll both drink. So whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, it's kind of assumed that you will have a drink, or both of you will have a drink. So when you say you're not drinking, it just kind of creates a different dynamic around the date and around the vibe of the date. Even if you both get on really well, if like one of you is drinking and one of you isn't, or it can basically just alter the vibe slightly of the date because it's just so assumed that drinking is what you'll do. Now, from my own personal experience, most girls don't really care, but I think a few might do, like whether they want to admit it or not. I went on a few dates sober and I'm really quite confident anyway, like I don't really need to drink, but I feel like just the fact that I wasn't drinking possibly killed the vibe a little bit. The thing is, if people's lives evolve around drinking, if their social lives evolve around drinking, and then you kind of say that you don't want to take part in it, then people can get a little bit offended. So yeah, there's definitely that. So dating becomes slightly harder to navigate. It's important to remember as well that drinking is the only drug that people will judge you more for not taking than taking. Why do I feel so awkward sat here? So reflection number 5, some people are going to roll their eyes at this, but you can still have a fairly decent time sober. You can still show up, you can still attend, you can still experience places, you can still experience atmosphere at events. Even if those events are where most people are drinking, you can still go and you can still attend and still show up and still have a good time when you're sober. You can still catch up with people you haven't seen for a while, of course. Drinking is often the centre point to all of this stuff. It's often the centre point to our social lives. When you start to challenge that, people do get slightly offended. But all of this stuff is not impossible to do without. You can still attend, as I've said, you can still sort of show up and you still be part of the experience. Reflection number 6. This has to be an improvement in health and general fitness. I think for the majority of people who drink, this would be the best outcome of the challenge, and you would typically rank this first or second of the best outcomes that this challenge would bring. But for me personally, I did some training for an event last year and I wasn't actually drinking that much anyway. So for me personally, I didn't experience a massive health gain or a massive fitness gain at all. In fact, I was probably healthier last year, or I was probably fitter last year. But the thing is, if you are curious about being sober and you think drinking too much is having a negative impact on your health, then obviously cutting it out will almost definitely, I can almost guarantee that it will improve your health and it will improve your fitness. One of the points I didn't really think about, which I've not really scripted down, but I guess people might wonder whether I'm going to continue doing it. The answer to that is no. I'm just going to take it each day at a time, really. For the last few years, I haven't really drank that much, and I think that's down to sort of the environment I've set myself up in. I think a lot of my friends back home are big drinkers, or not even big drinkers, but just socialise and drink a lot in that regard. Since I've lived down in London, obviously I'm geographically separated from them, so it's harder for me to, it's 3.5 hours away to get home. Whereas in London, I don't have that many friends who are like big drinkers, really. I mean, I have people I cycle with, typically they'll have a drink after they ride their bike. My point is, I think I'm going to take each day as it comes. I have already had a drink. I have gone over a year and then I have had a drink. I'm not going to pressure myself into not drinking, but at the same time, I want to be able to enjoy a night out if one comes along. I didn't drink a massive amount, as I said, I didn't drink a massive amount over the last few years anyway, so I feel like I'm not naturally going to go back to drinking all the time again anyway, because I'm not in that environment. So yeah, I'll just see how it goes. If I get invited on a night out, then I will probably go. If I get invited for a few beers after cycling, I probably will go. But it was definitely a challenge I recommend doing at least once in your life. Like, if you can do a year, it's enough to alter your perception and alter your interpretation and alter your idea of drinking and alter your relationship with it. So I definitely would recommend, even if you just do a month or 2 or 3 months. So yeah, anyway guys, that's my reflections. I hope everyone's okay. I hope everyone's had a good new year, and thanks for watching. If you want to subscribe, please do. And yeah, hopefully see you soon.